Hello and welcome back to Havoc, and we are here in yet another tournament with Mr. King Lording. Yes, indeed. I still find that absolutely hilarious, and hopefully you do as well. Anyway, I'm going to be answering a couple of, statements / questions in the comments over the course of, the next few minutes. But the one thing that I want to touch upon is the fact that we are making a lot of money from tournaments. Okay, so obviously, here's the thing. I generally don't really like making the early game super easy, but this is kind of a special circumstance. That's the only reason why this is actually a thing, because usually what I'll do is I'll maybe do 1 or 2 tournaments. I might spend that money on a caravan or some other high-risk venture, for example, like a workshop. Workshops are generally not very good, so if you do end up spending, all of your money that you've accrued from those tournaments that you've done on a workshop, and then it starts giving you 50 to 100 gold every single day, yeah, I feel like that's kind of, that's kind of decent. Obviously, in this particular case, doing a tournament here or there, at least in my opinion, is pretty much the only way we're going to make cash, unless we really want to go and fight. Oh no, I'm kind of scared about this guy. Unless we really want to go and fight bandits upon bandits upon bandits, and as I've said before, I don't really want to do that personally. I don't have a problem with going and fighting bandits, because most of the time that can actually be quite fun, because obviously you're going to be gaining experience for your character, you're going to be able to level up your troops, and so on. But when we have such an extensive amount of enemies, and potential enemies at that, I mean, that's the whole reason why the mercenary wages for each eliminated party are so incredibly good. Because you've got to bear that in mind. In the previous episode, we became a mercenary of the Crusade, and the Crusade are willing to pay 800 gold for every single party that is eliminated of their enemies. And so if we can make that happen, we're going to be swimming in money anyway. But it's actually getting there that is the main challenge at this point, because while, if I were to literally run around and fight bandits, that's absolutely fine. That actually, that can work. It can work. But especially when we have Havoc and the World War mod enabled, it's going to be very difficult to make that work, in my opinion. I think it will be doable, but I think it's going to be doable in a way that basically makes it really repetitive, and that's something that I wanted to try and avoid. And speaking of troop wages and recruitment and so on and so forth, someone else also mentioned about how much weekly, well, not weekly, that's all warband. Yeah, no, not weekly, but daily wages that we're currently facing with our setup. Now, here's the thing. Yes, my party wages are very, very cheap at the moment. But you have to bear in mind that if these guys actually do start to get to a higher rank, that's going to be very quickly sorted out. And especially considering I'm not consistently going to be doing tournaments, as I've said before. I generally only do a handful of tournaments to begin, just so that I can get my economy rolling and we can start participating in those vassal battles and those high stakes, little skirmishes here or there. But you also have to think about, look at how much money I'm spending from the initial recruitment. And here's the thing, I'm not trying to justify anything of any of my decisions here. All I'm trying to do is just bring to the attention of you and anyone else that may have that same question. I would like, if I could, increase my party wages, but the only way to do that is to increase the tier of the unit, as far as I'm aware, that you are commanding. I could be wrong about that. There might be a way to do it in Chaos's Tweaks, but I don't think I've ever seen a setting where you can increase the cost of your wages. So that's maybe not going to work out too well. But just look at this now. This is actually kind of crazy. Look at that. 2,440 gold for a bunch of recruits. And, well, slightly higher tier units as well, but yeah, I mean, you can quite clearly tell that is actually kind of significant. The amount of money that you are having to deal with here, just purely for the fact that we have recruited them fresh out of the village, is staggering. The initial cost is actually staggering, and in my opinion, I feel like that kind of balances out the daily wages, although obviously later down the line when we have a lot of money, I don't know whether it's going to do the same thing, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, but what we're going to do now is we're actually going to be attacking this caravan here. It is actually reportedly better than us. This is actually kind of interesting. Okay, I am going to attack this caravan. Let's do this. Okay, I'm actually a bit worried. I gotta say, I'm actually a bit worried. I am not sure whether we're going to even achieve victory here, but I can only hope that we will. Anyway, I'm going to place myself as the commander of these troops. And, oh yeah, there was something else that I wanted to touch upon as well. I might try to rack my brain about what that is as we fight in this battle for the moment. Okay, so let me see what I can do here. I'm actually wanting to use my bow a little bit more, so maybe I can get a little bit of extra skill, he says, as he misses spectacularly. Nice. Okay, there we go. Can I get to 75 in bow? Ooh, nice headshot. Nice headshot, Mr. King Lording. Very good. Yes. That is exactly what we want to see. And, yeah, actually, you know what? I'm thinking... Does that actually still give you massive benefits by riding really, really fast and then shooting from long distance? Does that actually still give you a lot of power, or should we say a lot of leveling power from that? I'm actually not entirely sure. We're losing a lot of people? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they did say that we had less power than them, but I really didn't expect this much less. Okay, well, I think actually we're gonna have to retreat. Look at that. Okay, wow, okay. That's actually really surprising to me. I would never have expected that in a million years for me to have a pretty decent army. I mean, I've got a lot of tier 1 units, right? I mean, do I? Actually, no. I have a lot more tier 4 and tier 5 units than I do have tier 1s. So that's actually really interesting to me. Okay. Well... there you go. Okay, interesting. Anyway, yeah, I've actually remembered what I wanted to talk about. So yeah, basically, someone said that it annoys you or wrinkles your brain or whatever when I am not selected in a role in the party screen. So, for example, if I don't change what role I have and all that wonderful stuff. So now here's the thing. As far as I'm aware, I don't think I can actually change that, even if I wanted to at the moment, because I don't have any other companions or anything like that. But the thing is, this doesn't matter, because as the player character, if there are no people in your army, as far as I am aware at least, and this is how it has worked in the past, your character's skill values all contribute to their particular skills. So for example, my scouting skill is obviously going to improve my, detection radius and all that stuff. My engineering skill is obviously going to improve the speed of my siege equipment being built, and so on and so forth. And it's the same thing with the other two skills as well. So my setting myself as quartermaster is basically just going to result in the exact same thing as far as I am aware. So don't worry about that. There really is no problem with it at all. And yeah, so you don't have to, be annoyed by that or anything. It's all good, it's all good. That it works out just fine. Anyway, I actually would like to eliminate these guys if at all possible. Yeah, there we go. We actually did get them. I'm surprised that we were able to catch them, considering they have a much smaller army. As smaller armies are usually very, very quick on their feet. But there we go. Let's do this. And something else I should actually say as well is someone said that I'm taking a very, well, should we say not a little amount of damage, but I gotta say I don't think I'm taking small amounts of damage, to be honest. I feel like I'm dying pretty quickly, even so. But just as a heads up, I am actually playing with 50% modifier, or whatever it is, you know, the modifier down from realistic, so 1 down from realistic, because as I've found multiple times, especially in conflict-heavy playthroughs, I would spend more time on the floor than I would actually, you know, participating in the battle and actually having fun. So that is the main reason why that setting has, you know, been changed. But I think you could probably tell in many of the situations we've gotten ourselves in so far that I'm dying pretty fast nevertheless, and there's actually I don't know, it's not really giving me a huge amount of benefit at the moment, because many of my forces, or should we say many of the enemy's forces that are attacking us at the moment, are capable of taking me out in 2-3 hits, even so. And obviously, in your case, I think you were talking about how a looter with a pitchfork was able to kill you in 1 hit or something like that. Well, yeah, that's actually the same for me too. It can happen. It can happen. It's just very much dependent on the situation and the circumstances of when you get hit and how you get hit by that looter. For example, if they have a pitchfork and you're riding into them on a horse, yeah, you're probably going to get 1 shot. That's happened to me many, many times. So, yeah, there you go. So, just wanted to clear that up as well. Anyway, there you go. Nice amount of renown there. And I am actually wondering whether to take him prisoner or whether to let him go. I think I might let him go, actually. Because at the moment, I'm feeling a little bit generous. You know, just a little bit. Not amazing amounts, but just a little bit generous. As we do have quite a bit of money coming our way from the mercenary contract. As you can see, we are now literally getting 1,600 from the mercenary contract, because as we know, every single mercenary enemy party that we eliminate, we are going to be getting 800. But of course, with the substantial initial costs for my you know, custom units and everything, it is, in my opinion, understandable that we kind of need that. You know, we kind of need that that financial boost, because if we don't have that, well, we're kind of stuck in the water a little bit. As you can see, I mean, look at this. Literally, just recruited 4 units or something like that, and I just spent 880. Yeah, it's kind of insane. Kind of insane. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna continue trying to run around here and do battle with various enemies. I might stick around Monchug's army a little bit and see what he's up to, because he might actually come across a couple of vassals, maybe some weaker ones as well. Oh, look! There's our first execution, Vidar. Vidar has executed someone. I couldn't even see how. I think it was Oleg. I think he executed Oleg. Wow. Okay, that's some pretty significant hatred right there. Okay, I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, let's see now. Let's increase influence gain from battles. I think that sounds pretty fun. Mounted infantry, increase your party speed by 30%, and melee cavalry in your formation gain 10% speed damage bonus. Might be fun. Let's do that. Increase thrust damage, increase swing speed. Someone actually requested that I use slashing polearms in this series, and I'm thinking, hey, you know what? I love, absolutely adore slashing polearms. I think that they are super fun to use. So why not? You said, hey, you know what? Let's use some slashing polearms. I agree. Let's do it. Why not? Sounds like a fun idea. And otherwise, I'm going to be going for self-medication. I personally feel like this is one of the best things you can take in the early parts of the medicine tree, and otherwise we're going to be speccing into some charm skill once more. Unfortunately, no attribute point to spend this time, but let's just stick around here and see what happens. Okay, so obviously there are going to be many times where we will be making peace, and oh wait a minute, Oh, that guy. Oh, that guy can murder me. That guy can actually kill me. If I am not careful, I think he might. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can I beat this guy? I think I might be able to beat this guy. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried. Okay, he's made peace with someone. I have no idea who he's making peace with, but you know, that apparently just happens. Okay, so I don't have power display this time around, okay? I don't have power display. I actually tried to make it work, but apparently it doesn't work with this particular version of the game, which is kind of weird because it's only one version up. And speaking about versions, by the way, some people were talking about, oh wow, this is actually not in my favor. I might try it. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try the battle and see what happens. He does have quite a few horse archers, but we have horse archers as well. And in my opinion, I think mine are gonna be better. But obviously, you've seen the stats of mine. You know what the stats of the enemies are. It might very well be a case of, oh, it looks like I need to retreat. It might be something like that. Anyway, I'm just gonna tell my horse archers to charge in. Anyway, now. Here's the thing. A bunch of people have been asking about how their games are crashing when they have the same load order that I have and the same mods and all that stuff. Okay, so here's the thing. You have to make sure that every single one of your mods is version compatible. Every single one has to be version compatible with 1.7.1 or the previous version. I've always found that if you are going to use a more up-to-date version of Bannerlord, then you're going to need to have the previous version of the mod. So if there isn't one for 1.7.1, like there isn't for My Little Warband, it is a good idea to use the previous version, basically. So, for example, I believe My Little Warband has 1.7.0 and 1.7.2, and I would recommend using 1.7.0. That's the one I'm using, so hopefully that's going to help you, because I did actually try to use 1.7.2, but it crashed. It crashed for me, and there wasn't, I mean, obviously there's nothing I can do about that, you know, that's just how it is. So yeah, generally that would be something to bear in mind if you are actually wanting to play with my load order and the same mods and everything. Just make sure that every single one of the mods is the same version as the game. And you also have to bear in mind about the Calradia Expanded. Yeah, Calradia Expanded. So you're not going to get Calradia Expanded, the one I'm using at least, from the download link in the description. That is not the one that I'm using, because that is not the up-to-date one for this particular version of the game. You're going to need to go to the Discord of the modding team for Calradia Expanded, and you're going to be able to download it from there. So that is generally what you're going to need to do. Unfortunately, I'm going to need to retreat. Wow, look at that. I'm going to try to get away. Yeah, 11 soldiers will be lost. Okay, that's actually really, really harsh. Can I run away this way? Yes, I can. Okay. Whew. Okay, this is harsh. Look at that. We're losing a lot. Oh, you know, I seem in high spirits about that, but you should know that is not the case. That is not the case. Oh, I just can't believe it. I really cannot believe that we are sustaining so many defeats right here, but I guess that's just how it goes sometimes. That is literally just how it goes. If you are going to be going into a battle where you're outnumbered and the enemy has, well, quite clearly more significant, more powerful forces than you do, then it's just going to naturally end in these kinds of situations, which is really, really bad. Anyway, I am probably gonna go for, I don't even know. It doesn't really matter because I don't use infantry that much, or at all, in actual fact. And we are now only gaining 600 in profit. I say only because that is actually quite a significant amount. But the problem with that is that I don't really have any other income whatsoever. So it's going to be very, very difficult for us going forward. I think I might have to do another tournament. I really didn't want to have to do that because obviously, you know, why would I want to? I don't want to do I don't want to do that many tournaments. I know some people actually find the tournaments fun. I find them fun too, but I don't want to spam them over and over again. That's primarily the reason, actually, why I have attempted to attack a caravan. I thought to myself, surely I can beat a caravan, right? Surely I can beat a caravan. No, apparently I can't. And it's the same thing with attempting to beat a vassal. Obviously, the vassal is going to be much, much more difficult than a caravan, but still. Anyway, let's see what I can do here. This is a slashing polearm. Might be okay. Everyone has a slashing polearm. Okay. Oh, that guy murdered. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, wait a minute. I think I might be through anyway, just because there are only 2 enemies remaining. Well, actually, just me and him, obviously. So me and him are through to the next round. There we go. And now, wow, this is a big 2 versus 2 battle right here. Okay, I've got a bow. Gonna go for a headshot, I was gonna say. Never mind. Apparently I'm not gonna go for a headshot. That guy was gonna try and go for a headshot on me, but he missed too. Fantastic. I like it. Oh, the amount of frustration that one feels whenever you think to yourself, oh yeah, that's definitely gonna be a hit, but then you end up missing, and then it's just like, oh yes, that's a wonderful, wonderful time, isn't it? Oh my, oh my, oh well. Oh, we're doing some nice damage. He's got 3 HP or something like that. There we go. Alright. Can I get a headshot on one of these? Highly unlikely. From this distance, yes, highly unlikely. What? What was that? That was terrible. Oh, now that was nice. That was not too bad. They've got some good armor as well. We were almost at 75 bow skill as well, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Gonna have to be a bit careful about the thrown weapons here. What? Did you see that? He literally just stopped moving for, you know, 1 or 2 seconds, and I thought to myself, okay, you're gonna start moving towards me, sir? I think he was contemplating it. You know, he was thinking to himself, what did I do with my life? Is he gonna kill me with the thrown weapons? And yes, we did actually end up doing that. Nice headshot. Please don't kill me. Okay. In those kinds of situations where they delay just a little bit while they are winding up their throw, I always think to myself, is this it? Is this my demise? Yeah, some of the time, yes it is, and other times, yes it is. Most of the time, in fact, it is. Anyway, we did actually get some really, really nice shoulders right here, so I am very pleased with that. That actually gives us 17 extra body armor and 4 arm armor. Suitable. Very, very nice indeed. I like it. And we're just going to be recruiting some more units. Alright, so I now have a full army, and now the only thing that is basically left to be done is go and try and run around doing some things. So I'm just going to get some mules and stuff like that so that I can carry more loot. And we're going to move around within enemy territory here. I've got to be super careful about these caravans as well, because it feels to me like these caravans are really, really good. I should actually take a look at the caravan armed. Okay, it's apparently not caravan armed. What are they called? Armed traders. Okay, just regular armed trade. Why is that coming up? Okay, let's do this. Armed trader. They have terrible stats. Why are we losing against these guys? Surely we cannot lose against them again. Okay, you know what? Let's attack, and let's see what happens. This is an Azurai caravan. They have veteran caravan guards, caravan master and everything. I don't really want to fight in the nighttime if I can help it. I'd like to fight a little bit more in the day. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit nicer. All right, so here we go. Are we going to be able to achieve victory against these guys? That is now the question. Okay, I actually did level up, so let me see. What should I take? I'm thinking probably medicine or charm or something like that. I'd like to take steward as well, because obviously that does increase my party size. I'm thinking medicine, actually. and then one more point in social. There we go. Because here's the thing. I want to try and maximize my unit's survival ratings. So any single time we go into a fight, I really want to make sure that my forces stay alive as best as possible. Anyway, I'm going to tell my forces to apparently charge in. I'm going to put on auto-delegate this time around. Because here's the thing. Whenever I've used auto-delegate with horse archers in the past, they've always done a fantastic job. They really have. Auto-delegate really knows what to do when it comes to utilizing the best out of horse archers. I could be wrong about that now. Maybe they've changed how they work. But we can only hope that that is not the case. Oh dear. Okay, maybe it is going to be the case where it's going to be very, very bad for me. These guys have slashing polearms as well, as you can quite clearly tell. They might be difficult for us. And that's also something that you have to bear in mind. I very much on purpose made it so that my forces have a huge disadvantage in certain situations, because obviously I wanted to make it so that we did have some kind of failing, because if I create a unit that is untouchable or unstoppable in every single situation, then of course that is going to result in a rather stagnant experience. You know, you're going to basically see the exact same thing every single time, which is obviously not what I want. You know, I'd like a dynamic experience that can go either way, you know. So generally what I've done is I've made it so that when my forces get dismounted, they are basically useless, almost useless, until they get to higher levels of upgrade. So for example, my warlords of Kurt, those guys, they are really good at what they do. They have bill hooks, you know, it's a slashing polearm, and generally it's, in my opinion, going to be pretty good when they get dismounted. But every other one of my units, with the exception, as I say, of the high tier ones, they have thrusting polearms only. And as a result, you know what that's going to do? As soon as they're dismounted, they're basically going to be, well, reduced to a very minimal offensive loadout. So they still have their bow, obviously, but their bow has limited amounts of arrows, of course. They're not really going to be able to use that for a large amount of time in the fight. And that is also the reason why I've done that, because I wanted to make it so that they don't have unlimited arrows. Because otherwise, again, it's going to be one of those things where you just see a bunch of arrows streaming towards the opponent, and that's basically going to be it. But I feel like the way that I've set up our forces so far, it's pretty nice, because it basically makes it so that they have a glaring weakness, but they're also relatively strong in their versatility, with the exception of when they get dismounted, of course. But that's obviously covered when they get a little bit higher tier. But obviously at the moment we are mostly dealing with tier 1s, tier 2s, maybe some tier 3s, and the majority of my forces are certainly not tier 4 or 5, that's for sure. Or at least I think so. I don't know, maybe some of them have been, you know, leveling up a little bit. But this is actually the first time we have achieved victory. Can you believe that? In a pretty significant fashion. Although we've lost a huge amount. I mean, you can see here I actually had 11 novices of Kurt get eliminated, which is really, really bad, to be honest. The amount of unit retention that I have in this particular army has been abysmal. It has really been pretty awful, so not a big fan of that. But look at this. Look at the amazing trade goods that we're getting here. Look at how much silver they have available. Okay, I can actually buy, well, I can buy this at Chaikan for 430, but I don't know where I can sell this. That's the question. I'm going to need to sell the silver somewhere. Where can I sell the silver for a reasonable profit? Well, that's the problem. I actually don't have many options. I only have 2 options, I think. Well, there are 3, but they're very far away. Myzea, Tile, and Lysamork. I could go over there, but obviously that would be very risky indeed. So might not be something that I can really accomplish at the moment. But we'll see, we'll see. Maybe there's going to be something going on there. Anyway, I'm going to spend another 1,500 here. How much am I getting? Yeah, I'm getting a massive amount from our mercenary wages right now, which is really nice because obviously we were able to defeat a caravan, and defeating that caravan is, you know, considering it was such a significant party, it had, you know, it obviously caused a great deal of damage to my own forces and everything, and we are able to ransom the prisoners as well for 1,600. Actually, a remarkable large amount of cash, and yeah, we are otherwise getting almost 3,000 in profit, which is pretty nice. Anyway, I am thinking about what I should do because I'm wondering. I really want to know whether there is a silversmith or something along those lines in Chikand, because if there's a silversmith over there, it would be a lot better for me to sell the silver over there instead of over here, but I don't know. Let's see what happens, eh? Let's see what happens. So, let me see here. Okay, so I can sell the jewelry for an insane amount of money. I mean, really, this is an insane amount of cash. 1,600. And I'm going to sell all of that. That's 5,400. I'm going to sell the velvet here as well. Sounds like a good idea. I might as well sell the wool here too. But in the case of... Oh, the date fruit sells for a massive amount too. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm going to sell all of that. And there's 14,000 we're going to get. And the silver ore doesn't sell for that much here. It only sells for 70. So what I'm going to do... We don't get any trade skill for this, unfortunately. Because obviously we pillaged it. But don't tell anyone, you know, don't tell anyone, it's all good. And otherwise, we are now going to move on to Chikand. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to be investing my money when I get it. So we are never really, at least in the early game, we're never really going to have an abundance of money. Because in many cases, I really don't want to be running around with 50,000 or something like that. Because then people, if they can take advantage of us, which... is likely, let's just say that, it is likely for them to do something like that. They definitely will, if they can, try to, you know, get as much money from us as possible. Oh, this is much better. Then, you know, having a smaller amount of money is going to be better. So, there you go. Silver ore, and I'm going to be buying some grain here. Let's buy some butter as well, some cheese, and a little bit of beer. Why not? And we're going to get 2,400 from that. And I would actually like to buy something here. I think I would like to buy a brewery. Is there actually a brewery up and running here? It doesn't look like it. That's kind of weird. This guy owns the brewery. Okay, he's a gang leader. Okay, hopefully he's not going to kill me. Alright, hello there, sir. I wish to buy one of your workshops. Oh, yes. I would like to buy the brewery. That's going to cost me 17,000. I will say yes to that because the brewery is definitely going to make some pretty decent gains, in my opinion. I think it's going to be really, really good. And yeah, okay, so I am very happy with this. Now, the reason why I bought the brewery, why do you think? Well, those of you that obviously know will know why. But yeah, there are 3 grain villages around Chikand. And obviously, grain gets turned into beer. So... that's the reason. But yeah, that's hopefully going to result in a workshop like no other. It's hopefully going to result in something that's going to be super, super profitable. But obviously, it's me, so maybe not, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Okay, so how close are we to the next clan tier? Not that close. Okay, I guess what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to maybe take a couple of tasks from some of the villages in and around the area. Draft animals. Oh no, please. I really do not want to do the draft animals quest. There's another task over here at Balticand. We might be able to take that. Gang needs recruits. Oh yeah, missed me with that. Thank you very much. Let's go over here to this one. Art of the Trade. I mean, technically Art of the Trade is not that bad. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do Art of the Trade just purely so that I can just complete a task, pretty much. So he wants to sell me 57 sacks of flax. You could probably find a market nearby where buyers will pay you a total of 470. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna buy the products from him because that is then basically done. There you go. That's it. That's it, basically done. So we spent 470 on this flax. So now let's see if we can actually make a profit. I don't really care about making the profit, so to speak, but I actually would like to see whether it's even possible. So Yeah, I can sell this for 7, which is still not... It's not gonna get me break even or anything like that, but at this point I just want to offload it as best I can. Ah, there we go. This is something that I very much appreciate. Okay, this is going to be really, really useful for us. Hunt down 3 bands of brigands. Okay, so basically what I can do with this, which is, in my opinion, very, very cool, is we can pretty much just stand around McKeb, or in and around the area, potentially. There we go. Hello, Step Bandits. And we can just basically fight whoever we want. We can fight these guys. We can take them prisoner. I'm not going to level up my forces just yet. And we're just going to wait here for these guys to step by. Haha, step by. And we are going to be taking them on. There we go. Fantastic. Alright, and some nice loot there. And I believe that's it. Is that the yep, that is the end of the quest. Fantastic. Alright, so we've now increased our relation with her. We've also gained some much needed renown and everything. And I also have a bunch of prisoners that I can ransom, so that's also good. So now what we can do is I'm basically just going to sell all of this. Do we need better arrows? I think these are better, but I mean, they do a little bit of extra damage, but I kind of, yeah, okay, fine. Let's, oh, apparently they don't like that. The auto-equip mod says that this is better. Maybe it works out to be better because it does give me 3 extra arrows. Maybe that would make sense. Okay, well, we'll just leave it the way it is then, I suppose, but I'm going to keep an eye on it nevertheless, and if we do find a quiver of better arrows, then obviously I'm going to swap those out. Alright, so what else do we want to do here? Well, we want to purchase another workshop, don't we? So let's have a look. Well, considering, I mean, another brewery might actually make sense, but then they're going to be competing against each other, which is obviously something that we would prefer to avoid, if at all possible. So I'm thinking we'll probably buy this guy's smithy. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to buy the smithy for 17,000. That's actually a pretty significant amount, to be honest, but yeah, we might as well invest the money somewhere, right? Yes. Okay, so now let's have a look. Hello there, Falentes. Falentes. Oh, stay away from me, sir. Okay, so now I'm very much looking forward to fighting enemies that are not the Crusade, because I personally feel like I could probably achieve victory against the majority of units just purely for the fact I have horse archers. And they don't. or at the very least, they're probably not going to have too many of them. So it would be quite nice if we could do battle with a slightly minor vassal here and around somewhere. I'm hopeful for a vassal of about 50 strength or something. I might be willing to pay for passage. He has 236,000. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be letting. I'm going to let him go with a warning. I will let him go with a warning and 6,000 of my money, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to murder him. You know, I didn't want to murder him. I felt like he was an upstanding fellow who really, really deserved not to get murdered by me. Yes, I'm obviously just joking, because he easily would have been able to murder us. Okay, so otherwise, let's just level these guys up, and we're going to go and fight these villagers. Oh, yeah. How far have we fallen? Well, the main reason why I'm doing this is to hopefully increase my mercenary wages once again. I'm actually wondering whether these count as an enemy party. I really don't know whether that is indeed the case, but we'll try it out nevertheless and see what happens. Okay, so here's the thing. They have 112. I don't know whether you've ever seen, unless you've played with the Havoc mod before, but I don't know whether you've ever seen villager parties this large. But the main reason for that is, of course, the prosperity being so incredibly high. So I'm actually seeing this for the first time as well, so this is actually pretty cool to see these villagers running around with such a massive amount of them. And this is going to give us some pretty nice skill ups as well, potentially. I mean, I'm actually hoping that it will. Yeah, look at that. That is some wonderful riding skill right there. Nice headshots too. Very, very pleased. King Lording. Yes. Very nice. It sounds like such an epic name, but then you look at him and you think, oh, that's the guy? Yeah. You know, it's like those, it's like if you were watching a comedy show, or, well, should we say a, you know, quote-unquote comedy show, where, you know, it might look like a drama, but then you see the guy in question, who's the main character, and you go, oh, that's the epic fellow that consistently fails at everything? Yeah. That's King Lording. That's basically him personified right there. Anyway, let's see if we can continue to win this extremely difficult battle. I mean, really, this is probably one of the most difficult battles I have ever been in. And I would thank you not to comment on it. Because, let's face it, I think the entire universe would probably implode from the gravity of this situation. I mean, really, look at it. Look at how incredibly powerful these enemy units are. I mean, they are called Empire Peasants for a reason. Oh my. Yes, anyway, we did actually increase my riding skill quite significantly, which is pretty cool. I'm actually not entirely sure how much money we're going to even get from this, or should we say how much experience as well, and I'm just pleased that I got a whole bunch of skill. What? We gained a huge amount of renown. A huge amount of renown and some pretty decent influence in the process. Look at the experience gain. What? Look at the experience gain we're getting from this. That is insanity. Okay, new way to level up. Got it. New way to level up. Fight villagers, the most deadly, I mean, fight honorable warriors in honorable combat. Oh yes. Apparently that is the best way to level up now. Wow. Who would have expected it, right? Who would have expected it? I mean, considering they did outnumber us, well, over 2 to 1, I mean, I guess that maybe is kind of the reason. I don't really know. But whatever the case, yeah, not too bad. How are my workshops doing? My workshops are actually pretty good. Look at that. They're getting me 726, mostly because the prosperity of these two towns is decent and good. That's really surprising too. Anyway, I guess what I'll do is I'm just going to run around here and try and fight a couple of bandits in the area, I guess. I mean, most of the time, if I do fight some bandits, I'm going to be increasing relation of the nearby villages by a small amount too. So even if I do, you know, potentially attack some caravans here and there, it's not that big a deal if I then fight some bandits afterwards. Which is certainly not how the real world works. Let's face it, if we're in a real situation and I have literally just slaughtered an entire, I don't know, I mean, I don't know whether you can call it a battalion, but let's just say that I've slaughtered an entire caravan worth of villagers, and, you know, people have lost family members and everything, and then all of a sudden I go and I go to the same village and I say to them, oh yes, I have murdered and taken care of the evil villains in the forest nearby to you. They were forest bandits, they were. Yeah, and then they go, well, yeah, but you slaughtered Bob last week, didn't ya? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, it's that's not really how it's going to go, right? That is really not how it's going to go. So, yeah, well, it's a game, after all. It is a game. Okay, so anyway, I'm just going to sell everything that I can here. I'm wondering whether I should still do blacksmithing or not. It might be a good idea for me to just maintain all of my weapons in my inventory right now. And this is what's currently going on in the world. Has anything actually changed significantly? I'm not seeing anything just yet, but obviously you've got to bear in mind that this is very early days, and most of the factions, as you can see at the top here, are at 7 war exhaustion, and that means it's very, very early. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.